Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Skool Morning Show. It is a daily show where we talk about school communities. We're not talking about schools, we're talking about school. We talk about community management, business, community membership, all kinds of different things. It's going to be a lot of fun. Today is the very first day of spring, but not that kind of spring. It's the very first day of spring. Yay! How are you, Jenna?
I am doing good. It is a good morning, big cup of coffee, and I think it's going to be a fun day.
It is going to be a fantastic day.
Now, you originally told me that you didn't have anything to throw me off. Well, I came prepared to throw you off this time with
Okay.
a dad joke. All right.
I love dad jokes.
So, why does the Norway Navy have barcodes on the side of their ships?
Why?
So when they come back to the port, they can Scandinavian.
Scandinavian. Oh, that's good. I actually met someone from Norway a couple days ago, and I'm going to tell them that joke, and we'll see if they enjoy it.
Yeah, I was scrolling Pinterest and I saw that. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to tell that to Eric.
Yeah. That's great. So what are we talking about today? Actually, no, wait. Before we get into that, we got to make sure we tell everybody. If you want your comments to be up on screen, just comment any questions, any concerns in the What is School post that Jenna just made about the School Morning Show. We'll throw it up on screens. If you got anything you want to let us know about, questions, we're happy to have a conversation with you.
Awesome. Well, today we have a fun topic, something that everyone just absolutely loves doing. Can you guess what it is?
Well, today's the very first day of spring, so are we talking about spring cleaning?
Yes, spring cleaning your business. Yay!
I love that movie.
We have to remember for the mobile users too that we have.
Oh yes, let me take that off so they can see as well. Give me one moment here.
Because we have a fun day. We were a little bit late to starting because we figured out we can add GIFs to our screens. So
yeah, so we're late because we added GIFs.
Yes, chaos because of fun.
But to be fair, we're kind of always late.
Right, true. We plan for one time knowing that it'll be a different time.
Right.
That's parent life, right?
It is.
All right. So spring cleaning your business. This is something, it's the first day of spring. So it's something that we should all do at least once a year, at least, maybe a couple times, right? Mm-hmm. The first thing we're going to talk about is cleaning your physical workspace.
Oh, yeah. Mine's a mess right now.
Yeah, mine too. I'm looking around. I'm like, man, I thought I cleaned this last week, but things can just pile up. And something that really can affect your own mindset and stuff is when you are working in an environment that feels cluttered. It might clutter your own mind. It might be distracting. So I would just say, make sure that you take maybe more than once a year to clean your workspace, but just kind of tidy it up.
But before we go too deep into that, I think, and this might be, I don't know, this might sound sexist or whatever, but I think it's a big difference between guys and gals, because for me as a guy, my definition of a clean workspace is different than my wife's. Because I'll go through and I'll clean, and then she'll come home and be like, there's 30 things that need to be cleaned. And I'll be like, I didn't even see those things there, to be honest.
So if you have a definition of what a clean workspace is, or you have a clean workspace, make sure to add a picture or tell us about it in the comments. Because for me, a clean workspace is very minimal stuff on my desk. It's also taking the 5 drinks that I haven't finished drinking away from my desk.
You're right. You're one of
it's
those.
How many bottles of water did you need?
Well, mine's cans of LaCroix.
Oh yeah, very hardcore school of you.
Yeah,
very true.
Yep.
Mine is probably going to be the cold coffee that I never finished drinking. right?
Yep.
The next thing that you can do, so we're going over 12 of these guys, and we're going to kind of go through them because we also have a fun, like, rate some traffic sources at the end of the call today or the show. But today we are also just talking about this stuff, the stuff that's not necessarily fun, which is audit every subscription you're paying for.
Yep. Yep. Like this one,
This
like
one-
Zoom.
Like Zoom. Do you really need Zoom now that we have School Lives?
Nope.
You know? And man, I don't like doing this because this just tells me how much I'm spending. And I'm like, I don't want to know that. I feel like it's none of my business, but it is my business, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
And the other part, as a schooler, is that it may mean letting go of a membership that you haven't and won't use anytime soon.
Yeah.
So they capture me on those memberships. It'll be like, hey, it's going to be this price and it's going up. And then I'm like, okay, I'll get it. And then I don't use it. And then I, like, 5-6 months later, I'm like, oh man, I just paid a bunch of money over that period of time and I didn't even touch it. So
Well, I can tell you a horror story that happened to me just a few months ago. You know,
no.
I think it might have been like a year and a half ago at this point. You know, they'll have these like subscriptions to like workout apps and stuff like that. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get in shape this year, and then a year goes by and I realize I forgot to use it, and then it charges you, and it's like, dang it, and I just got charged all this money for an app that I didn't even use. So if I would have actually checked around springtime and saw, wait, I haven't used this in 4 months, maybe I should go ahead and cancel it, I would have saved myself a little bit of money.
yeah, and honestly, it's like making sure that you canceled it and they didn't have any like loopholes too. Like, are you? Because you know how they'll also. This happens to me every time I try to get on Audible. Is I'll think that I canceled Audible, but they captured me on that. Like, well, would you like to stay for this? And so I'm like, okay, for the next 3 months, I'll pay this much. But then it's going to go back up. And I already forgot that I didn't cancel
The
it.
exact same thing happened to me literally a month ago with Audible. And they actually, I DM'd like their support, and they sent it back to me within 24 hours. So if maybe you could do
cool.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, how many books am I actually going to read right now?
Right. Exactly.
Or listen to?
Who
The
has the
next
time?
thing, true. The next thing is to gather and organize your receipts.
Yeah. I hate this.
Yep. This is not the fun part. It's like, my mom and friends have made fun of me because of how many times I moved in the past, and I keep every receipt. But I don't, I have a hard time organizing them. So
Right.
there was at one point when I was moving, I had just a box and it was full of just random receipts. And they're like, Jenna, can you go through this? And I'm like, not today. You know?
Well, for
But
me,
it's-
most everything's online these days. I don't even think I have any physical receipts here. It's all in my
Yeah.
inbox.
And if you don't, like, okay, so your inbox can get totally full, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you don't gather them in one spot, like, how are you going to find them? Like, because you need to come up basically with a system of keeping it all together, whether you do that on like a Google sheet, maybe even just a Word doc, whatever. There's other like fancier ways. It might be a subscription. Not that I'm going to say somebody should have a subscription for the receipts, but
Right.
I am going to say that it is important at least to have a system where you know you can go find it, right?
Yeah.
Because taxes are different everywhere, but this is like that time frame when you should be making sure that you have all of that for filling that
Yeah.
the taxes out. We're not guessing on our taxes.
No. No.
By the way, I have talked to so many people over the last few days. Did you know that people are using ChatGPT to do their taxes?
I did know that because I did use ChatGPT on my taxes this year.
That's funny. So, yeah, I was like, I didn't realize it. I had so many people recently, within the last, I want to say week, mention that they're using ChatGPT to do their taxes. And so now you've done it. How do you feel about it?
Okay,
Like, do you think it's good?
I'll be totally honest. So the way I did my taxes this year is I kind of went into like where I send all my invoices is the same place where I keep all the things I buy. So it's kind of like that system that you said. And I downloaded the CVV file, uploaded it to ChatGPT, and I got it to add and minus all the things together. And it didn't seem quite right. So I actually threw it into Gemini, which is a different AI, and it gave me a totally different number. And so I was like, well, crap.
Oh, no.
So then I actually had to go through and just look at everything myself and use a calculator, like old fashioned calculator. And it was actually closer to the Gemini one, but neither one of them was dead on. So if you are using ChatGPT for your taxes, you might want to double check it.
Gotcha. So it's like it's good to like just throw in there and basically get the structure of it.
Yeah. It was
Right.
still helpful, and it still kind of gave me an idea. But yeah, you definitely need to double check it.
All right. So this next one, it might call you out a little bit. I know it called me out, and it is cleaning up your digital desktop and files.
It's hard to look at.
Yeah. It's like, how many tabs, how many windows do you have open? I know I cannot be the only one. Who else is guilty of having a million screenshots? Right?
Me. Actually, okay, so this is going to be the difference between me and you is I have a Google Pixel phone, and it comes with a screenshot app, and that is honestly worth it just to get that phone just for the screenshot app, because it automatically saves all my screenshots and makes them all searchable. So I can, and it's very cool. So it uses AI and it looks through all my screenshots, and so I can like look up very specific things, and it'll find it for me. So if you're that type of person, maybe consider getting that. Even though most of you probably hate Android, but that's all right.
That's interesting. I'm not changing from an iPhone for that.
Yeah,
but
I figured.
yeah, I'll just keep paying extra storage to have my 50,000 photos. And then another one is that you might need an inbox reset. So this is how I feel when I see how many emails I have to go through, or how many, like for me, I don't know if people know this. There's in the notifications settings for Skool, when you go down and you see it talk about, oh no, it's in chat. Okay, so when you go to settings, it's the user menu drop down. Click settings, click chat. There's email notifications. It says if
Really?
if you're offline and somebody messages you, we'll let you know via email. We won't email you if you're online. Good thing I'm online a lot, but I have like 628 people still waiting for me to message them back right now.
Oh my God, it's probably much worse for you because you're a mod and you get a lot of DMs and comments.
Yeah, so when it comes to just people messaging you, it says like, Eric via Skool messaged you, and then it's like another email. I got to the point where my email is telling me that I need to pay for storage, and I'm like,
gosh.
No, I'm not doing that. So I've just been deleting a bunch of stuff. And so turning things off, like those notifications, or unsubscribing to stuff, unsubscribing from things that I'm not going to use. Like, do I really need to know that Bath and Body Works is having a sale again? Like, they always have a sale. There's no need to ever know when they're having a sale again.
Yeah, I honestly, that's one thing about Skool that I don't like, is just the crazy notifications and emails, and I think it's getting better, but yeah, that definitely needs to change. We got a comment real quick. If you want to talk about it. This is something that you, I think, might disagree with as far as
I
spring
know
cleaning
he
goes.
disagrees with this too. That's Jesse. And Jesse, you're just trying to rile me up this morning. What the heck?
I can hear the anger in your voice as soon as you saw that.
No, do not delete members. In fact, we have a recent gym from AJ Gonzalez inside Schoolers, which it says stop deleting inactive members. Like, as soon as I saw this, it was funny. I think, Jesse even tagged me in this. As soon as I saw it, I was like, you guys, this is important. It is a gym. We need to gym this because.
Well, can you kind of explain your thought process as if you're spring cleaning your school community? Why wouldn't you want to kick out inactive members?
Why would you want to clean up and remove
Well, there's
member?
probably some people's thinking that. I mean, I've heard a couple of different reasons why. I've heard some reasons that maybe it's affecting discovery, which you can say.
It doesn't?
Yeah, okay, so it doesn't. But I have heard people worry about that. I've heard some people say.
Let me tell you a story.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me tell you a story. I was on a call with Sam Evans, and we were talking, and I said, yeah, people think that they need to remove inactive members. Like that's a thing. They call them lurkers. And because we were talking about, this is when he was changing, when you go to settings and you go down to discovery, he was changing what that looks like. And he was going to put some other stuff in there. I was like, let me just ask you right now, does removing inactive members or level ones help them with discovery at all? Does it do anything good for them? And he was like, people are doing that? That is what his response, Sam's response was. Like, people are doing that? Why would they do that? And I'm like, yeah, they think that these lurkers and all this stuff. And so he put a note in there. Now, the note he originally wrote was more of like Sam Evans when he's in a community that he can just be free and him.
Right.
And then he put it a little bit more nice. And he just said, note, removing inactive or level 1 members doesn't improve your rank. Some people like to lurk. It is a healthy part of community to have members that just are there to observe. Right?
That's
And
fair.
I've made a whole post. You can look it up inside What is Skool. I still left it up. I don't remember. My loom might be a little bit harsh, but you might hear like this is my one stance on, like, if you want to get me talking, this is it.
This is the hill you will die on.
Yes, I will die on it because I think about it and it's like community is a place where people should feel like they could belong.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that hurts me is when I think about my mom. Okay. Mm-hmm. My mom has, I'm a military brat, so we've moved from place to place. And so for her, she likes to still keep up with people, that she met, but it's one of those things where you make friends, but then they're going to leave. Right. Because you move all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not like the people that have established community already. So for her, a community online would be great, but she doesn't feel too comfortable with online because once you say something, she's like, it's there forever. And I don't know if I'm saying something right. So in her insecurity of like being online, because it's still new to her, they didn't have it when they were growing up. It's like when she has Facebook stuff, she's like, hey, can we go through it? And like, I'll help her write a comment that's like going to be okay. Right. Yeah. And so if she was wanting to be in an online community and then they're like, you need to say this, you need to do that, or I'm going to remove you. And I think about like, you're going to remove my mom because she doesn't feel like she is going to say the right thing or she's a little bit insecure, but she still wants to be involved. Like she might still feel involved even if she isn't commenting or stuff. She might go through, she might like stuff. It's not like, who are you to judge the person that joined your community?
Well, if you just kind of think of it,
pissed.
If you think of an online community as an actual community or a party, it's like imagine you're having a party and everyone's talking and there's like maybe a couple people over in the corner that are too nervous to come and talk. And you walk up and be like, hey, if you don't start talking to everybody in the party, I'm going to kick you out.
Yeah, it's rude. And when I see people that's like, I'm really passionate about this, clearly.
I can tell.
But when I see somebody say that they're going to do that, immediately I'm not interested in, like, I will leave that community and I will never recommend it again. Like,
well, let me play devil's advocate. I'm gonna piss you off some more. Okay. Let me play a little bit more devil's advocate. What if you are what if they're using it as a way to get people more active, as a way of
then you suck. I'm sorry. Like, if you're trying to use it as a way to get people more active, then you are not going through and doing your actual duty as a community owner to go learn what is important to those people. Like, go find out. That's why you have membership questions. Find out what's important to them. Then start using keywords in your posts. Maybe you're writing long ass. I don't care if we have to bleep this out later, but maybe you're writing long posts, and it's like you're not even making stuff that's worth engaging with.
So it's not really the root of the problem. Like, actually, there's probably a lot to do with onboarding too, which we're going to talk about next week.
Yeah, I'm like, no, the members are not the problem. You're the problem. So there.
Dang, Jesse, look what you've done. Look what you've done, Jesse. We're totally off the rails here, and she's all upset, and her cortisol's all spiked.
it might be more of like, yeah, you need to figure out what you're doing, and then also maybe they don't know how to use the platform either. So you could, with the whole onboarding thing, is like teach them more about the platform so they know how to use
That's
it
very
better.
true. Because I have seen some people, even like new schoolers who just create a community. I saw someone yesterday make a post that they said, I don't know how to use this platform. I'm going to leave. And so they may not even literally, some people may literally not even know how to comment or feel like they should.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot
So
to it.
thanks for putting me on my soapbox. I mean,
Yeah, thank you,
soapbox,
Jesse. Appreciate that,
spring
Jesse.
cleaning.
Yeah, yep, yep, yep.
All right, let's talk about review your efforts versus results. So there's a good bit of time where there's things that we spend a lot of time working on, right? We might be like, oh, well, I'm trying to figure out engagement. There is, I have talked to plenty of people. There's people that have worked on trying to get more engagement in their community with just a few members versus spending more effort into like getting more members, right? So the results would be like if you've been trying to get them more engaged and your results are that they're not engaged and you haven't been growing, then that's time to like spring clean that kind of thought process. Like maybe track your time for a bit. And when you're tracking your time, you can go, okay, is this producing a result that is worth it? If
Yeah.
not, what can I replace it with that would be bringing the results that I need, right?
Well, that's
'Cause that's
basically
not,
that's what we were just talking about. Is like instead of kicking your level ones, maybe you should spring clean how you're going about doing it to actually get them engaged.
yeah. In fact, it's not something that like we don't like doing it sometimes too, because sometimes we're choosing the easy route or we're choosing the thing that would be more fun. But that's why we need to spend time tracking it. That's why we need to like be honest with ourselves. Because otherwise, if we're looking at it and going, "Hey, I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to actually have a community. I'm going to have a business,"
Yeah.
and then we don't do what was needed, I'm like, okay. I don't
Yeah,
know
you,
why
you
you
really
would
can't
spend
say
your
it.
time.
Yeah, you couldn't really say if it works or it doesn't work if you don't do something about it.
Yep. And you can't complain, and you can't like you. I mean, obviously, people still can complain, but
Oh, I'll complain. Don't you worry.
you won't tell me what I can and can't complain about. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Uh, but okay, so the next thing that you could do is you could check your classrooms.
Yes.
The reason why I would say check your classrooms is because a lot of times we get so excited, we get passionate about stuff, or we feel like, oh, maybe this isn't enough. I need to add more. But if you go through there, you might find that there's some things that are just not necessary, and it's just adding overwhelm for members.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many times I've talked to other members that have just left a community because it felt too overwhelming.
Yeah, you open their classroom tab, and like with this one, there's 6 different things in there, and these were different live calls that most people probably weren't even interested in going back and listening to, anyways. So this was my old community. I kind of made the decision. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna, take these live calls away because no one's gonna use it, and I'd rather just have this one thing that they can click on the classroom and look at, rather than seeing the working hours and the live calls and all the crap that doesn't actually matter.
Yep. I get that. There's it's funny now that we say this. It's like every single time I get ready to, because I have another community that is gonna launch eventually. I keep going like, oh, this looks so overwhelming. I'm adding too much overwhelm, and then I just keep refining it and keep refining it. The same thing happens even with school, like schoolers. If you go to, there used to be 6 classrooms, and now we just have 3. And even with like the Alex Hermosi School Money Models course, it ended up going on Alex's website. And so it's not on Schoolers anymore. It's like you can go to Alex's website and not have a hard time finding it or anything like that. So it didn't add more to the classroom area.
Yeah, so I mean,
that's
even
pretty
he's doing it.
Yeah, school does this all the time. They refine and make things more simple if they can.
Yeah.
The next thing would be check your community tab. This is partially because I remember what it was like going through and cleaning my own school when I was switching it over from private to public. But there's a lot of times that in the community tab you can see, like, most of these are pretty good.
Yeah.
But like with Arden's post right here, currently lounging, which he should have put into your post, I think.
He did it wrong,
But
but that's okay.
it's okay. It is something where if you, that's kind of almost what I would call like a call reminder or an event. Like don't, if it's an event from like 2 years ago or a year ago or 6 months ago, and you're not going to have that event anymore, you can remove it and you don't have to worry about that. It's not going to affect any of your members' points. So if they all clicked and like, you still got all those likes. If your members commented and they got likes, it's not going to affect theirs. The only thing it changes is your contribution. So like on your profile, it'll say so many contributions.
Interesting.
And but you still get to keep all that activity and stuff.
Do you think it messes with this discovery at all?
Nope, I don't think
fantastic.
so.
Fantastic.
Now, there are some things like discovery is changing, so it could change in the future. I don't see that happening. When it comes to discovery, the best thing to remember is as long as you're making like a really good Skool community, that is what the entire discovery is meant for. Like, it's for good communities to rise to the top. So all the checks and everything, these little details, there is a human in the loop. So like if your community's doing good, you won't have to worry about this kind of thing. But yeah, like outdated information and the call reminder posts, like what if you had talked about something that isn't even relevant anymore, right?
Yeah, because like for me, it used to be a podcast community. I changed it over,
Mm-hmm.
and so I went through and I deleted a lot of the things that I used to talk about that doesn't exactly apply anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're spring cleaning your offers or anything like that, there are probably some things that just doesn't make sense to have.
Yep. I went through when I cleaned my community. It was really interesting. There was, it did give me like a little history lesson on stuff, but there was like old things that Skool had as far as just even like the audio room or even some like Skool game tips. But Skool games changed, like the way that it's played. So I just removed those because it didn't make sense, and like I wouldn't want to confuse anybody. So it's good to clean up your community tab.
Yeah.
The next thing is your offer. You need to check your offer because there is. Let's see. Hold on one second. Do you have the next?
Oh, I do. Let's add it on there.
So checking your offer. When you check your offer, you will want to see, is the stuff still needed? Is it fluffy? Is it kind of like this banner that's at the bottom? It's like so crowded.
It's really
Like,
long.
can you even read everything? A lot of times when people first get started, they start to add a bunch of things. It's a new thing where like you don't know because you don't have people in your community yet. You don't have people taking you up on your offer, and so you're kind of like flying blind, right?
Yeah.
So you create this offer, you put so much stuff in it, and then are people even using it?
Yeah.
Was it even necessary for them to say yes? Is there anything in there that in your offer that you've been doing that you just don't like doing or it's taking too much of your time?
Yeah. Actually,
So-
I listened to a podcast yesterday with Alex Ramosi. It's one of his new ones. And he was helping coach through this couple that helps other couples start businesses. I think they might even be on Skool. And one of the things that they offered, they actually offered a lot of things. And one of the things that they offered was they hop on, what was it? It was like a private community, like a Discord or something like that, or a Slack. I think it might have been a Slack. And they found out that they were spending like 3 to 4 hours a day just in that Slack channel. And that wasn't even one of the things that their people even really cared about. There's actually another thing that they cared way more about. And so Alex was
wow.
like, just cut everything but this one thing. Because you're spending way too much time and it's causing you to not be able to grow. And two, they probably don't even care about it that much as you think.
Yeah. I think that's, it's really important. Like, you could be, that's the whole like results versus the efforts versus results. Some of these things just, you are adding more busy work when you just said, oh, this is my offer and I'm keeping it because I offered it. There might be things that people are like, I don't even use it. It's okay. Or
Yeah.
like it's not necessary.
And there's nobody
So,
forcing you to do anything. Like, it's your business, it's your community. You can run it however you choose. And so, it's okay to make changes.
very true. The next thing would be to check your about page.
Okay. Got mine.
All right. So this is what an about page looks like. So when you're checking your about page, in the spring cleaning, so there's a whole different thing. Like on Wednesdays, we'll be talking more about like the details of it, like making a good about page.
Yep.
But
On About Page Wednesdays.
but what you can do for the spring cleaning is is what's on your about page still what you're doing, because sometimes people will forget and not take something away or not add, like, is it I was doing these calls or I was going to add this course and then it just didn't make sense and people didn't want it.
Yeah.
But if it still says like course on looks maxing is coming
Yeah.
and everyone's like, I don't care about looks maxing,
Especially
And
after
so-
you go through and you change your offer and you change everything else. You probably want to do this last because it may change as well.
Yeah, and is it missing something new that you decided to add? Did somebody say, hey, we really would like to have more, we would like to have like a Friday coffee hour, and you don't have Friday coffee hour on here?
Right.
You could add that to it. Another thing to check is like, what does it look like on the mobile version? So your about page, if it's written in a certain way, it might look a little funky
Yeah.
on a mobile.
Actually, I can show you the difference right now of what this
Okay.
looks like on mobile versus what this looks like on a PC, because this is the computer version. But on the mobile version, I think it looks all right. Sometimes on a different about pages, that's the wrong one. Sometimes on about pages, like words will get cut off and it'll kind of look like a run-on kind of sentence. And it just doesn't look good. But this is kind of how it looks on mobile. What in the world is going on? Hold on. I'm trying.
Here, I did it.
Okay, thank you.
There. All right, so yeah, see how it looks just slightly different.
I fixed it.
All right. Yeah. So it still looks good. Like if you're reading it, you can read it and it makes sense. But let's say somebody had like one of those stack lists. Those can end up looking really jumbled on a mobile version.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that, like, because especially on a stack list where someone's like, oh, I need to feel like I put more and more and more, it might look so funky to have like the emoji at the beginning and then like 3 sentences for this one bullet
Yeah.
point. 'Cause
And
that's
actually-
not a bullet point anymore.
That's the problem I had on my first version of this about page is I did have those emojis and it did exactly what you just said. There was one that was kind of behind a certain word and it didn't actually stack right. So yeah, after you make your about page, definitely go check it out on your phone just to make sure everything's good.
Yes, nice. The next thing would be get reviews or feedback.
Whoa.
Getting reviews and feedback is sometimes, some people find it a little bit tricky, but I do think that it's just as simple as like asking for it.
Yeah.
And the reason why you want to make sure that you're doing this is because there's a lot of times where people go, oh, I'll get a review later, or I'll do this then. And it's not good when you're putting it off and delaying it, because people will forget, they've lost the passion. They've forgotten like the excitement they had when they had their win.
Yeah.
Or even feedback. It's like people don't necessarily always remember all the details if it's taken like 6 months for you to ask them about something. Because it's not top of mind anymore. Make sure that you set up your ApproveWorth profile, because this is an easy way to like get everybody to send them over there, get them to write their reviews, especially right after they had their win.
Yeah.
You can message them or post about it.
For those that don't know,
And-
ApproveWorth is kind of like the trust pilot for school communities. It's where you can have reviews for your community. It's really, really great. It's growing every single day. I actually just realized my bio is not set up yet. I need to do that after that. But I've already got a couple reviews for my community, and it's really good to build trust. So do it if you haven't.
Yes, if you haven't done it, do it. And if you have done it, then just make sure you're telling people to go review.
Exactly. Because they're not going to know if you don't tell them.
Exactly. Very, very important. Ask your group for feedback. That's another one. Is a lot of times like feedback can be it can be good for you. It could also be, it can feel constructive. It could also feel like criticism. Just take all of it back. Just take all of the feedback that you could get from them, because it's going to be helpful. And maybe we could talk about like what to do with feedback that you get, whether it's positive or negative. Maybe we'll do an episode on that.
That would be good, because I think that would be great to do like a more in-depth about that, because there's probably some feedback that you don't want to take, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah. And another thing would be, not all, like, some feedback is, I'm just going to say real quick, they could be giving you feedback and it may be like their own biases and might not have to do with you, then sometimes it also helps you realize, some people might be experiencing the same thing. So how can I make it better for them, even if it's a them thing, All right. So the next one is ask your members. Did you need some time to grabbing some of these things and putting them up?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just go over the ask your members part real quick while you get those up, because we'll need them for the next part. Asking your members, what I mean by that is, while you're spring cleaning, looking at your school, you can just say, hey, what do you think are absolute must keeps? Like, what are the things that you love the most about this community? Is it something that you would have looked at and said, hey, this is exactly why I joined the community? Or is it something that you wouldn't have joined the community for, but now you have found is the best thing for the community itself? And then what do you think would be okay to leave? Like, is there something that you know is inside the community but is not necessary? Like, you don't need it in the community. That can help you with knowing what to remove. When you make a post like that, you might want to include some things and link them. Like, if you have a bunch of things that you're thinking about removing, put them in the list too and link to them, because somebody might not realize that you have it. They may have jumped in and then got distracted by something else. And it might be something that they were waiting or looking for or needing in their current state. And they just might need to remember where to go and find them. Because if you were thinking about removing it and it was something that they were going to ask you for, it's easier to just leave it,
Exactly.
All right. So we are now to the next session, breaking news.
Breaking news.
Oh, yeah.
I love doing that every day.
It's fun. You can now post your in real life events in Schoolers.
Yep. Let me move this off. You made this post yesterday. Now, this is something that it would get removed previously if you posted an IRL meetup in school, but they changed it.
Mm-hmm. So it's a good change. So last year there was some sponsored events, but now there's no like official school events, no official in real life school events besides school games. So now inside of Schoolers, if the whole point, like the real goal of the in real life events being posted in there is for Schoolers to get a connection with each other. So if somebody's having an in real life event and it's for Schoolers and it's just about like meeting other Schoolers, then it is something we'd love to see in there. We want Schoolers to meet up with each other. So I think that's going to be really cool to see, because in the past, like you said, it was only for those official events, but now it is for anybody that's just wanting to meet with other Schoolers and like connect,
Which makes sense, because, it seems like that's something Sam has really been trying to work into the Schoolers or the school platform, because they made the maps feature, which that's not really something I'm super interested in, but I know there are a lot of people, especially like Marianne. She's really big into IRL, and I think it's great. I think it's great for the people that are interested in that.
Yeah, if you've been to an in real life event, or you're thinking about hosting one, put it in the comments, because we'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And if you want to go like kind of read, I also made like a loom with this post. If you want to go read about like kind of like what would get a post removed, because there are some, like if somebody posts an in real life event and specific to their community, then that's not a schooler's in real life event, right? That's something you just post in your own community.
Yeah, just go read this post. It goes really in detail about what you can and can't do with it. So go check it out.
Would it be helpful to have a show about like in real life event tips?
That would
Let
be
us
fun.
know.
Yeah, we could bring on some special guests to maybe talk about it.
Some people that are either good at event planning or people that have already had an in real life event, been to one. It's kind of like getting feedback and then also just knowing like some things that you might want to add to your own if you're planning on having one.
Yeah, exactly.
So now I think it would be fun. Remember, if you want to have us pull up your comments, make sure to comment inside the posts. But we are going to be doing, and you'll want to do that for this next part. We're doing a fun on a scale from 1 to 10. Ooh. What would you rate these? And today's topic is going to be traffic sources.
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. We are going to talk about YouTube.
YouTube
as a traffic source.
That's Jenna Marbles, if you don't know who that is.
Yes, Jenna Marbles. She was on YouTube. She's like, I don't know, when the beginning of YouTube started getting like a lot of traction, she was
one of the OGs. She was one of the OGs that really took off during that. So a YouTube as a traffic source, we're starting off strong here. Okay. I'm just gonna say it. I think it's a 10. I know that's like there's no room for growth there as far as when we go do all these others, but I feel like it's one of those platforms that kind of will probably work for anybody, just because I don't know anybody that doesn't use YouTube at this point, because this has been around for so long, and it's easier now than ever to grow on it, just because the algorithm has been TikTokified, where new people are being showed and like on like this Discover feed or whatever. YouTube Shorts, I would say maybe is probably closer to like a 5. If I'm being honest. But regular YouTube,
I disagree with you.
I know you. I know we've talked about this. I know you disagree. It's gonna be lower for me. But YouTube, like long form, yeah, I think it's like the best of the best.
So here's the thing, I do know a little bit. I have to think about how I could say this too, because I did end up signing an NDA.
Whoops.
All right, so YouTube for me is a 10, both for long and short form.
Okay, we've talked about this a little bit. Why do you like YouTube Shorts? Because I feel like if you're going to do Shorts, Instagram would be much better. But tell me your reasons.
So there's a good amount of people that just don't want to be on Instagram anyways, because like when you think about Instagram or Facebook, you're talking like that's where most people end up running into people that they know, right?
Yeah.
Because they're following so-and-so and whatever. YouTube, it's not like their whole family's on YouTube, right?
True.
So they don't have to have the feeling of drama or like a negative experience when they go onto YouTube. Yeah. So YouTube Shorts, they're spending a lot of time to make Shorts better. So if you want to be praised by the platform itself, then make Shorts. And go live. You'll notice we're live in the Shorts feed. And so we're doing landscape and portrait. That's what it's called when you're on StreamYard. They will push your account even more when you are doing a live short on YouTube. It's like giving your community, or not your community, your channel bonus points via YouTube, because it's like when they need something, they're going to reward people that are doing it.
So it's kind of less. Okay, if I was to kind of look at like a YouTube short versus YouTube long, I would kind of look at a YouTube short more like a top of funnel kind of thing, because you can push the YouTube short to your YouTube long, and if you're doing it that way, I could see it being more like a 7 rather than a 5. Maybe I shot it a little bit too low.
Yeah, I would say your shorts are meant to grab attention. It could be like little clips, you know. And if they, because what you're doing is like when somebody's on a short feed, they also have a short attention span. So don't try to put something long in a short feed, right? Put something in there that is going to be attracting them to like going, oh, I need to be more. Shorts, here's the thing, it's the bio. So, you know how we talked about the other day, your bio needs to have a little bit of intrigue. It needs to be a hook so that they want to see what community you have. And then there's the group description. And then there's the about page. YouTube Shorts would be the bio. So keep it short, keep it interesting, make them go, oh, okay, I want to know more. Every once in a while, throw in like a group description that has a little bit more detail that says, ooh, yes, I need that. Because they'll get the short versions and then they'll get a little bit more length, and then they'll go, I need to like go see a whole video on this. They'll come to your long version and then they'll follow you. They'll want to see more stuff like that.
Sounds good. But overall, yeah, it's the king.
Yeah. YouTube is awesome. Like it's not like it's also, I would describe it as like the natural health way. So you're playing the long game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's not just going to be a slim slap, you know?
Yeah.
So
it's more of a search engine.
Yeah, you'd make sure you're doing YouTube. That's all I'm going to say. So next one is also, did anybody else rate YouTube in the comments? You guys are able to rate these with us.
That's right.
So feel free to rate YouTube, and then now we're rating Instagram. Woohoo!
So funny, Sam and Kirby talk.
Eric, you're cutting in and out.
You hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. I don't know what happened there. So Sam and Kirby did a school news a while back, and Instagram was actually the #1 traffic source. For a long time, it was YouTube, but overall, it goes Instagram, then YouTube. So just for that, I'm not a huge fan of Instagram, so I would probably rate it a little bit lower personally. But because there's mini chat and you're able to do like a lot more interesting things with Instagram, and Instagram ads do really well for school too, I'm gonna have to give it like an 8 or 9. For me personally, it's probably not that high, just because I don't know, people can be kind of mean over there. But and I find it a little bit harder to grow versus like a YouTube or a TikTok. But yeah.
As far as I know, so what was your rating, your number rating for Instagram?
I'm gonna give it an 8 for me.
Okay.
Also,
For me,
my eyes.
yeah, it was like my brain was going brr. I would say for Instagram, I'm probably gonna give it like I would say 8.5.
Yeah.
When I'm thinking about an influencer. So in the past, I've worked with a lot of influencers, and when they had more followers on Instagram, that was like they meant more. Like TikTok followers did not matter as much as Instagram followers, right? And it's almost like if you're trying to monetize a community, monetize the following, the Instagram followers, like that higher number on Instagram, would mean more. So that's why I'm going to give it an 8.5, is because I know that when somebody follows you on Instagram, you have a bigger connection with them than just something like TikTok.
And for everybody jumping on, we're rating basically how well they are as a traffic source for schoolers. So for how well are they at getting new members and growing your audience and stuff. So yeah.
Right. So with
Instagram's high.
Instagram, a lot of people are using it. So also school game winners, most of them have a YouTube. And then the next one would be like Instagram. Paired with ManyChat, it's like crazy.
Yes. And for those that don't, can we kind of explain what ManyChat is for people who don't know? Because I feel like that's kind of the key to Instagram growth for school.
Yeah. So ManyChat is where, let's say you just gave a talking spiel or whatever, right? Since Jesse's here, it would be like me doing my mini rant on don't remove members. And then I would say at the end of it, like, if you want my full list of reasons why not to remove level 1, then comment level 1 in the comments. And
Yeah.
then what happens is as they comment level 1, MiniChat sends them a DM for you.
Yes.
And you can also set it up to like say check your DM. I just messaged you, and it can do it like in a bunch of different ways. In fact, I think we should ask Heston to come and talk about it sometime.
Yeah, I would love that. He's the mini chat guy. And that does
Yeah.
two things. One, it's going to boost the algorithm because you're going to have all of these people commenting that word. And so it's going to tell Instagram, hey, this video is getting a lot of comments. I like it. It's going to push it out to more people. And two, because it like automatically sends them a DM that sometimes sends them, I don't know if you can actually send them an actual link. I think Heston said they can't, but I have to ask him. But it'll, they could send them like a URL or something, and it gets them to your Skool community. And so it does it automatically. You don't have to go through and message all these different people. So it's like a lead generation tool, and it's going to boost the algorithm. It's great. I love it.
Yeah. Now, there are different things. So some people talk about putting inside the still photos. So they call it a grid, right? That's for Instagram. So the grid, some people will still put still photos, or they'll do something that's called like a carousel. Then you have Reels, Instagram Reels, which to me is just a delayed version of TikTok Reels, mostly.
Kind of, yeah.
And then Stories. So when you're doing Instagram, there's a lot of different things, and
They have lives too, but I don't think they're nearly as popular as they used to be.
right, the lives actually will push you to the front of the story section, by the way. So if you want to be like on top of mind, it'll go to the very front to show that you're live. And it also boosts showing like while you're live, if somebody was to open the app, your post might be the first one. So that's why going live is important for Instagram.
For all the platforms, really.
Yeah, technically anywhere. And the still photos are not doing as well. You can do them, but you will get more results when you put Reels. And algorithms change, just like Discovery's changing on Skool. Algorithms change all the time. So
Constantly. It's annoying.
if somebody's telling you like do it one way, make sure that you check and don't just take one person's information for
a lot of times they're just rehashing like something that they've heard from a year ago that doesn't work anymore. That goes for all the platforms. You really need to find somebody that's up on it and that's actually posting there a lot.
Yeah. And so I would probably, like I said, 8.5 for me. Remember, if you want to share what your ratings are, go to What is Skool? And there's a post in there. That's where we got Jesse's comment right here. So that's where you should be commenting for the live if you want us to pull up your comments.
And I gave it an 8.
One,
You gave it a little bit higher than me. I gave it an 8, but that's just because it's not my favorite. But I do recognize how powerful it is.
Yeah, it is pretty powerful. Pinterest.
This is where I get my biscuit recipes.
Yeah, it's like, how long do you grill a steak to get it perfect?
Yeah.
I like this: steak, grillax, and repeat. Cute. So you're giving Pinterest what number?
Well, if you ask Tim Adam of Pinterest Skool, he's going to give it a 10.
Okay.
For me, I've not really delved too deep into Pinterest yet. No, I did that on purpose.
Yes.
I know it's very SEO heavy, so it's going to be probably similar to like YouTube, where it's going to be a more natural way of doing things, where you post and then it's kind of just builds over time. I've actually heard Tim say that he has posts from years and years ago still bringing him traffic. So I can't give it a super high score because I haven't personally tried it, but I was looking at some reviews earlier of his Pinterest Skool, and people are having success with it. So I'm gonna rank it a 7 just because I think it can work, but it's a long game kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it depends on what type of school you're doing too. I'm sure Tim might have more insight on this. So again, that's another person that we need to talk to at some point.
Yeah.
But I know if I have to search anything, I use it as a search engine because I am a visual learner. I want to go see something visual and then get the information quickly.
Yeah.
So, like you said, your grandma's biscuit recipe is actually on Pinterest.
Right.
I also will go on there and be like, I'll ask like a business thing or a just a health thing. So like if I was to think about what kind of exercises do I want to do to release tension in my calves, right?
Yeah.
I would go onto Pinterest actually and just kind of scroll through, because then I know it's going to take me to like an article, which then I guess you would use to send people to your school. Like that's where your article would be, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a he has a few different strategies, and I need to take the time and really do some more research into it. I think it can be good. It's kind of funny because I've always kind of seen that more of like a platform for girls. That's because my wife loves it, and there's not a whole lot of guys on there. But I think there are a lot more guys coming to Pinterest now, and maybe that's because of Tim. I don't know.
That's pretty cool. I wonder if part of this would also be for Pinterest. I can just get stuck scrolling. Like, if
Yeah,
we
that's
want to
true.
talk about like doom scrolling, Pinterest is one of those places that I'm just like pin here, pin there, pin here. You know,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and I think that's the cool part about Pinterest and why it can become addicting is that it's basically the place where you get to save everything that you would want to save. It's like your huge save folder, and when you're pinning something to a board, you're claiming it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've also
So,
heard it's
like,
one of the best.
psychology.
I've also heard it's one of the best platforms for faceless people. I was talking to him
True.
about this the other day that most of the pins on there are actually faceless videos, faceless type of content. So if you're faceless, that might be something you want to try.
All right, I have to backpedal real quick. Back to Instagram.
Okay, back to Instagram.
A lot of Instagram people are people that have jobs, and I know that sounds, it's like what? But no, a lot of people that are in Instagram have jobs, and they need you to put captions, put good captions, because they are looking at Instagram while they're working. Not that that's a good thing, but it is something that is kind of like a known thing that we've talked about in some of my networks, where if you're making it where people can read silently, then even if it's a reel, to put the captions on there. And so that's kind of how I see Pinterest too, is it's going to be the people that like, oh, I'm going to have a tab open for Pinterest while I'm also doing some work, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's
Yeah, I totally agree with the
readable.
captions too. I agree with the captions on that for Instagram and TikTok and any kind of shorts. One of my favorite comments that people put, it's so dumb. They'll say, "Hey, can you make that text bigger? I'm trying to drive."
Yeah.
Guys, that's horrible.
So funny. Please don't drive in
Yeah, don't do that.
social
Don't do that.
media.
Yeah, please don't. Wait, what did you rate Pinterest? I never heard what you said.
So I'm going to rate it, for me personally, a 7 as well.
Okay.
Only because I think that there is going to be a learning curve that comes with it for most people. So it's not that I think Pinterest isn't as good as the others. I just think that there's going to be more of a learning curve, because now you also have to get really good at hooks, right? You
Yes.
also have to get really good at the visual, because Pinterest is super visual. And then you're going to have it lead somewhere if it's going to do anything for you. So there's the extra work of where is it leading to.
Yeah.
But,
Agreed. Agreed. I think we might be being a little bit too nice for all these.
No, because there's some others that are about to get slammed.
Uh-oh.
TikTok as a traffic source.
We might have some disagreements on this.
Okay.
And that's okay. So my background with TikTok, that is the platform that I use the most. Last year I did 30 million in views. I did 100,000 in sales. So like I know TikTok like the back of my hand, but I don't think it's for everyone. I think if you have a very broad category, I think it's great. Like Mikey, he teaches people how to save money. Every single person needs to save money. If there's like a health type category, just like the broader that your category is, your niche is, the more likely you're going to do well on TikTok. I think I've seen a lot of older people have a lot of trouble with TikTok just because maybe they don't quite understand the culture. But I've also seen a lot of older people do really, really, really well with TikTok once they figure it out. So there's a learning curve, just like you said with the others, just to kind of figure out what kind of content to do. But the reason I like TikTok is because it's way less effort than Instagram or YouTube. People on TikTok don't care how you look. They don't care how good your camera is. They don't care how good anything is, really. As long as what you're saying is interesting and you're speaking from your heart, people on TikTok will like it because it's a lot more raw style content. And with TikTok Lives, it's the most powerful live tool out of everything. When I first started going live, I had maybe one or two people in my room. I live streamed for 30 days straight. And by the end of it, I had 500 people in my room at all time. So if you want to grow quickly, TikTok's probably the best one to do, just because your first video can go viral. It doesn't matter who you are or what you posted in the past. If you make a good video with a good hook and you're saying interesting things, it can go viral. So for that, I'm going to give TikTok a 9, knowing though that it might not be for everyone.
All right, I sent you a GIF. I need you to pull up for me.
Okay.
Because, drum roll, when it comes to TikTok, I am a hardcore believer in TikTok. And there is a reason.
Spill the tea.
I'm like, I think it's for everybody. In fact, I think everybody should be doing it. I think, honestly, because there's things like, what's it called? Now I can't remember it. The one that you can schedule on all of the different platforms.
Oh, yeah, the post scheduler. I forget what that's called, too.
Why can't I remember it now? Anyways, we'll figure it out and we'll tell you. You should just be setting it to all the different places. But for TikTok, I mean, TikTok was the
Metricool.
Metricool.
That's what
yeah,
you use.
Metricool can sit it out to all of them. TikTok is where I've made people like high 6 figures, 7 figures, all sorts of stuff just because they were on TikTok.
Well, it's simple and it's easy to use. Like, I mean, as an absolute nobody, I did 100,000 in sales. I mean, anybody can blow up.
Well, with TikTok specifically for making like a community, that is where you just have to be really good about speaking to your problem, and because the algorithm's so good. Like, so I'm gonna just
It's
say right
unbelievably good.
The TikTok for me is a 10. And if you have issues with TikTok, usually it again is a you issue. And it's not, I don't say that to be mean. It is just that, like, some people are like, oh, I just get stupid dancing videos, or I just get that. I'm like, that's telling you that that's what you're watching. If that's what you're watching, you need to learn how to scroll faster. If you're just getting political stuff and you don't want to hear it, or you're getting drama stuff, that's because you're watching it. The algorithm's so good. It's like, oh, you like watching this, or you're going to spend time watching this? We'll show you more. So
yeah, I always tell people they need to prime their algorithm when they first start watching or when they first get on TikTok, and you search up some keywords of your niche so you can kind of start watching what other people are doing, because that is one thing about TikTok. If you find what's working in your niche and you start kind of doing similar things, it's going to work because it worked for them. So just spend some time. It really literally only takes you about 30 minutes to prime your algorithm. That's how fast the algorithm will kick in. Just watch some videos in your niche, learn it. And the other thing I like about TikTok, you can post an unlimited amount of videos. It does not, and they don't have to be good videos. You can literally just pull out your phone on your front-facing camera and talk. You don't have to be so emotionally attached to every single video you make, because there's some days, I'm not even joking, I've made 30 to 50 videos. And I didn't plan them. I just opened my phone and started talking, posted it. Because that's one good thing about TikTok is you don't have to care so much about, all that.
Yeah, and even though
Not like Instagram.
Right. Even though I rated Instagram an 8.5, and I said that their followers usually are like better at buying power, or their followers mean more for the buying power version of looking at it. Like, that would be as if I have an influencer and I'm making them like a sheet because I want to get them to go get sponsors. The Instagram ones mean more, but TikTok as a traffic source, you can, like, if you're consistent with it and you're speaking to it, you can blow up a lot faster. And if you're willing to go live with your people, you building the lives, I think you should go about 90 minutes at a time.
Yeah, that's the time, the best time frame.
So 90 minutes, you can then take a person that's been on live with you and say, hey, I know that I got to some of the questions and stuff. I'm about to go live in my community. So just jump on over there and talk to me. Mikey does it where he talks about, like, he gives a lot of value. And then he's like, we do more stuff inside the community. All the links are there. It's only $8 a month. But we're going to turn on a free trial at the end. So he has his community manager in the background turn on the free trial, and so people can jump over on a free trial. He got 30 members from one live.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's making close to like 40K a month, something like that. 100% from TikTok lives. A quick tip that if you do want to try TikTok lives, so what you're going to do is you're going to open up TikTok live, you're going to start teaching something, and you're not just going to yap, you're actually going to have some prepared, give like actual value, and then, like you said, turn on the free trial. Say, here's what you say. I'm about to end this call. I'm about to start a premium call in the community. If you want to, go into deeper what we're about to talk at, do the free trial, join the call. And so all these people that are on the call are going to do the free trial, and they're going to go into your community, and you can instantly talk to them in a live call. So if you do like back-to-back calls like that, that is the key.
Yeah, and so the exact way that I used it to help someone make 7 figures in a year using TikTok was that we did a whole section. It was 15 minutes, and you can put a little banner with your live, by the way. So you can say like answering questions at the end, right?
Yeah.
So
you need to put a banner. By
yeah.
the way.
So you talk about, for 15 minutes, you talk about what's going on. And if you're nervous about like seeing how many people are watching you live, I just tell people to put a sticky note over the area, so you just perform as if there's a lot of people watching you or nobody's watching you, right?
Yeah, because sometimes both can kind of mess you up. If you see one person in the room or no one in the room, it can kind of hurt your spirit. But then if you see 100, you start getting nervous. So yeah, definitely put a little piece of tape over that.
As they push it out, it'll spike. So those spikes can make you a little bit nervous too.
Yeah.
Like it'll be like 800 people are watching, and then it goes back down to like 100 or whatever, But so give your 15 minutes of like just talking, because then you're going to be able to repurpose that, by the way. Like you could throw that on YouTube, because record your live, cut it up, then say, all right, I'm going to scroll back to the top and read all these, read as many questions as I can before I have my premium call. So there's the first time you're mentioning it. And they'll be like, premium call, what is she talking about? So then you're going to take those questions, you answer, you scroll to the top. So that tells people to stay for the whole live, right? Because they already know that they'll get in the habit of knowing that you're going to go to the top and answer those questions. You answer a couple of those. What you want to do is read the question out loud.
Yeah, you have to read it out loud.
Them asking a question in their words is exactly how they're searching stuff, is exactly how other people are asking that question. So you're going to learn based on how they ask the question, what people are actually wanting to know and how they word it. And then it's also teaching the algorithm as you speak it on the live, it's going to be pushing your live to people that it would be asking that question. And then when you have the recording, you're going to cut these pieces where it says you ask the question and then you give the answer. That is a short in itself, and that short is going to do really well because it's speaking their language and you're giving the answer, and the algorithm is going to know that these people that ask these kinds of questions, it'll push it to them. So you answer a couple of those and say, hey, I know a lot of you had questions still. And by the way, if nobody's watching and there's no questions, prepare your questions ahead of time so you're not wasting time. You can go, there's a lot of different ways. We'll probably do a video on that sometime.
We need to do a whole episode on this because I have so many things I want to talk about, especially with like now that they've added Service Plus, which is an absolute, I don't know, it's so awesome that they finally added that. We'll talk about this next week because there's a lot more with TikTok Lives.
And then just tell them that you can answer more of their questions if they miss their question, and then say I turned on the free trial. So even if it's just that question that you want to ask, join with the free trial. You can cancel anytime, but jump in that live and you can ask it there and I won't miss it.
The last thing I want to say about TikTok
Mm-hmm.
is more than all the other platforms, it rewards consistency. So when you do your first TikTok live, there's probably not going to be anyone in there. And it can be a little soul crushing, but you have to maybe try the tape trick and go for 90 minutes. You need to go live the next day.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell people to do this, it's why a lot of people don't do it. You kind of have to go live as often as you can. I went live every single day, and that's how I eventually built up to 500 people in my room at a time. And that's how Mikey
Mm-hmm.
does it. Mikey's making 50, 40, 30, 40, $50,000 a month because he's going live every single day. So if you want to try this, you really need to get a really set schedule.
And this is what I'm going to say in regards to the set schedule thing is if you're don't joke with yourself about what you're doing as far as trying to grow your community. Traffic is where you need to be spending most of your time. Hormozy has said it, other people have said it. Let's just be, since we're being spring cleaning, right? Let's just be honest with ourselves real quick on this mindset thing. Your time inside your community is important, but it doesn't take you that much time, especially as you're growing. Most of your time needs to be spent on bringing and attracting people. So if you're thinking, oh man, like 90 minutes on TikTok every day is a lot, you would spend 90 minutes on on your business. Like if you were going to a job, like a 9 to 5, that's a long time. 9 to 5 every single day is a heck of a long time. But if you spent 90 minutes every day on a live, you did it in that format, that has just created the content that you can then, after you're done with that live and you go do your premium call, you can then after that take and cut up that live and then go put it on the other platforms. And you'll still spend less than a 9 to 5, and now you've built something that's going to last and like continue to grow over time. Because if people are asking those questions, they'll come across that short.
Yeah. It's really what you put into is what you're going to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa asked that mean go live for 90 minutes every single day. It pains me to say it because
Yeah.
I know 99% of the people I'm going to tell to do this won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes I would take Sundays off. But yeah, yeah,
Yep. It's hard. And like so and if you cannot do it every single day, like let's be honest, there are people that have families and kids and they want to spend their weekends with their family. Okay, then put it in like your bio that it's Monday through Friday.
yeah.
Like
I mean, that
live
would be
Monday through
helpful.
Friday. And then make sure you do it. So cuz you don't want somebody to see you live Monday through Friday and then you not show up, right?
Yeah,
The other thing is like even for people that have different religions, some people take Saturdays off, some people need to take Sundays off. Perfectly fine. Make sure that you're just staying consistent with whatever type of schedule that you set for yourself. And but if we're being honest with you, live every day is what grows the most.
yeah. What is Hormozy's rule? I think he says if you were making less than what is it, $1 million a year, you need to spend four hours a day on traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's coming from the
Something
man
like that.
himself. That's coming from the
Yeah.
man himself.
Yeah. In fact, it's like sometimes people look at this and they start like a hobby community and they're like, I'm going to do it as a hobby community until it can replace my job. Well, if you're not spending time on trying to get traffic, then you're going to be on a hobby community for a long time. Like,
Yeah.
I'm the hot take, right? So the next one that we're going to talk about is LinkedIn.
Okay. Let me. I was not prepared. So yeah,
Sorry.
I'm gonna change my answer. I had TikTok as a 9, but you've convinced me.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
All
we didn't
right.
grab one for LinkedIn.
Yeah, we did. It's in there.
Okay, let me find it. Give me a second.
Okay.
You
We'll
can go ahead and
find
start
it.
talking about it while I look for it.
All right. So I don't have a LinkedIn profile.
Do you not?
No, I am not a fan of LinkedIn. And that is because, okay. So in the past, I have had a lot of clients and people that I've worked with where I have had to sign a lot of NDAs. So when you, it's really frustrating because it's like when you have a LinkedIn,
There
there's
he
this
is. Here's LinkedIn
yay,
guy.
LinkedIn guy, nice little coffee cup. It almost feels like a business dramatic version of Facebook for me. So I'm not saying that LinkedIn is not a good place to get leads, and it might be. Like, there might be business professionals, like if that's your target audience, you might want to be on LinkedIn. I just don't like it because there has been times where it gets really difficult, I would say, because there's things I cannot put on there, and then or I tried to put stuff on there somewhat like what I was allowed to say, and then I've been questioned on stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, deleting, you know, like
Yeah.
I can't talk about it, so I guess it can't really be here. That's my personal problem with LinkedIn. So I don't feel comfortable rating LinkedIn as a traffic source since I would personally never use it. So this is like, I know we're trying to go through these and rate these, but this is my like little opt out.
Just refuse.
I can't
Well,
rate
I've got a lot of positive things to say about LinkedIn if you'd like to hear them.
Yes.
So I've been learning a lot more about LinkedIn lately, and as far as the platform itself, I don't know as far as like how well it is for a traffic source. But for getting on podcasts, it's one of the best places to find people and finding podcast guests. I've had so many people that I've worked with that go through and they find different podcasts to guest on through LinkedIn, and you can get on some like a little bit more high quality podcasts and, you know, that you find through Facebook or Reddit or some of these other places. So as far as like a funnel of getting on podcasts, I would say it's really, really good. You can also go live on LinkedIn now, which is doing really well for certain people I've heard. They have a shorts feed. And so if you can get on that LinkedIn shorts feed, it's just like you can scroll it just like TikTok or Instagram. That's also really good. So I don't know. I've heard a lot of people have a lot of success. I know you personally haven't, but I'm going to have to rate it a 7 just because of all those things, especially with the podcast funneling.
Right. I mean, I don't think it's a bad place to go, right? I
No.
think that it's not I just don't have enough experience to give it a proper rating.
Yeah.
But I have heard, and so obviously I've had clients that use LinkedIn, right? And so sometimes I can give a little bit of experience from that. But what I've seen from LinkedIn is especially like the shorts, when there's a new thing like shorts being released on a platform, they're going to reward you a lot more. So if you're doing your LinkedIn thought leadership post, right? Which is good for SEO and stuff, right?
Well,
you
podcast clips go crazy on LinkedIn. So if you have a podcast and you're making podcast clips, get them on the LinkedIn Shorts feed if you can.
Yeah, go ahead and like take advantage of the things that are gonna go well for what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
And the one thing that I've had a little bit of an issue with, and this can happen anywhere. It can happen on Instagram. It could happen on TikTok. But what I've seen from a lot of LinkedIn stuff is that people have gone, ooh, automation, AI, and created stuff that like you're not talking to that person usually.
Yeah. Lisa says if it feels stuffy. Yeah, it is a little bit stuffy. And that's kind of why you don't like it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I would also come across people that I have worked with or I've, like, consulted for their business. And then they're like, well, because it's almost like it's, all right. So, fun story. When here I am, I travel all over the US and then I come back or, like, if one time I like sat in first class ahead of the people that I worked with in a business building in Dallas, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, how have you've gotten so far?" And I'm like, anybody can book a first class ticket, first of all, you know, like they just pay for it, right? And so those kinds of things feel just superficial ego kind of to me.
Yeah.
The reason I actually got that first class ticket was because it was the only one available and I had a family member dying, you know, because I'm not going to spend money just because your seat is closer to the front. That's also not the highest survival rating if a plane is crashing. So, anyways, squirrel ADHD moment. That's the kind of thing where it was just like, LinkedIn felt like it was like getting back involved with the business people that are like, well, did you know that I went to South by Southwest this weekend? I'm like, okay, cool.
I
cool
think
story, dude.
Well, I think if your ideal member is like a more businessy type of person, it would probably where you'd want to be.
Right. I do think, like, if I was trying to get back into that world, I would definitely have to do LinkedIn, but I also love just not dealing with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and actually now now that we're talking about LinkedIn, the next one that I would talk about that almost kind of gives me a little bit similar vibes is Twitter X. I still call it Twitter. Some people call it. Oh, he's staring into my soul. Elon Musk. Man, Twitter is like the place where people say their inside thoughts out loud sometimes.
You know, it is true. I used to have a business, and I got nearly 100% of my business from Twitter. Just because the
Wow.
people that I worked with, I used to work with a lot of voice actors. I'd make voice acting demo reels, and that's where that crowd was at that time. I think most of them have moved off to Blue Sky now, but since Elon bought it. But it was all word of mouth from Twitter, and something a LinkedIn or X strategy or Twitter at the time that I would do is I would get the blue check mark, and I would go through and I would find people who have similar audiences as me, and I would make sure that I would comment under their post every single time they would post. And because I had the blue check mark, it would be at the very, very top. And I would get all of these profile clicks, and it's a good hack if you're wanting to try Twitter or X, if your people are there. That's a good way to do it. So for me back then, I probably would have gave it like an 8, but now I don't like it as a platform just in general. It's just not for me. I'm going to give it like a 6.
I think that they're, again, if you're gonna want a certain crowd, like if you know, like if you're spending time on X, right?
Yeah.
Then you probably want to be that, and that goes for any of them. If you're finding that you're spending most of your time on a platform,
That's the one you need
because
to be
you're-
on.
yeah, be on that one because that's where your people are, right?
Yep. Yep. And it's the one where you know the culture. And that's, I don't think people talk about that enough, is you kind of need to know the culture of the platform, because if you come bumbling in, it's going to take you a while to figure out what works. But if you're already scrolling on a platform or posting a lot on a platform, you already know what people like. And so you're more likely to be successful there.
And I agree with the commenting on other things. Like you can spend, like, put stuff on your own Twitter that's like really helpful and useful, but also spend a lot of time commenting on the other people's stuff because that helps you grow.
Yeah.
My rating for this is probably going to be, I'm probably going to do with like a 5 or a 6.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. You know, they
Not
used to
that-
have. Oh, go ahead.
Not that it's not good if you're doing more of like blogs, or you want to do a lot of writing. I feel like writers are going to have the most success on Twitter and X.
Yeah. That's
Like
true.
the Dan Coes of the world, you know?
Oh man, I used to follow Dan Coe and read all his stuff on Twitter. But you know, Spaces is another big thing. I think they still have Spaces. I would
Yeah.
spend a lot of time going into Twitter Spaces or X Spaces, and it's kind of like what I'm doing with my school with the live rooms. You're just going and talking to different people and having conversations. Like you can get a lot of business that way too.
Yeah, and with that, I would say that you can also spend time with looking at what other people are doing on Twitter. So this is what I was gonna go with. Like, so they're jumping on spaces, they're talking, they're commenting as well because you'll see them in the comments because they know that's how it works. But then, like, think about Dan Coe. So he has his like blog thing that would have worked great on Skool, especially like if he wants to do Skool like public and just do his blog articles that way.
Yeah.
And then like have a tier where it's like, if you want to have closer things or get on a call with me, people would love to do that.
Yeah. Pretty much anything you can do on Twitter, you can do on Skool now.
And he's not limiting himself just to Twitter or X. He has a YouTube. So
Exactly.
there again is YouTube.
YouTube. It all comes back to YouTube.
Threads as a traffic source.
And here's Granny with the threads. No, that's the wrong kind of thread.
Wrong kind of threads. But yeah, I would say Threads is pretty new, but it's underrated. Like I
It is
think there's
underrated.
a good amount of people that forget that Threads is there, but the people that are on Threads, it's a big deal.
It's the exact same strategy as Twitter. Heston, who is the mini chat guy, I've heard him talk about how he will also go into different people's threads. Like he'll go into the mini chat. They have a thread profile. He'll go into their posts and he'll be one of the first people to comment. And he said he's gotten a lot of his members from being helpful and with his comments. And that's what you got to do. You're not just going to post random crap. Like you go in and you answer questions and you say things that are actually helpful, and people will naturally follow you.
Yep.
So yeah,
I think that's the being helpful anywhere is going to be where you really succeed, you know?
yeah.
So what would you rate Threads?
I've tried it a little bit. I'm not huge on any type of kind of like written type of platform like Substack or Threads or Twitter or any of those really. I prefer video, so I can't rate it super high. But I do know people that had success with it. Mm-hmm. I think they didn't even have a DM feature until recently. I think they might have just added that. Correct me, someone, if I'm wrong. So just from what Heston has told me, I'm going to give it like a 7.
Yeah, and see, if we were talking like we don't know what Threads is, or it's not heard of or not used as often, Threads is still being like pushed out there. Like you'll see some, like Instagram is trying to get it to be pushed more.
Yeah.
So like you'll see something and it's like when you click on it because you wanted to read more, it takes you over to Threads. So they're doing their job to try to keep it relevant. Anytime
you get a newer platform like that that's made from like a major company, like like Meta, you want to jump on it, because if you're one of the first people to blow up on that, then you're going to do well.
Mm-hmm. And I think that the other thing is that even if it's not as well known, the people that are on there that are dedicated to Threads and you're showing up as helpful, I'm going to rate it probably like a 7.5 for me, because those are going to be people that really are involved, right?
Yeah.
So it's sometimes the quality of the audience is why I would rate it higher than maybe just saying, oh, well, most people don't hear about it, so it's a 5. No, I think it's a 7.5 because the quality of the audience they're more, it's like micro-influencers. Like an influencer might have like 5 million people following them, but they might not have as much buying power behind their audience as a micro-influencer with only 80,000,
Mm-hmm. And you could say the same thing about podcasts. It's a very niche audience. It may be smaller than an influencer with like 1 million followers, but the people that are listening to that podcast are going to be very dedicated, and they're going to be very interested in that topic, and probably you.
Mm-hmm. I would be interested to hear from somebody that uses Threads, because I think that if we know like what audiences are on there, that would be super helpful.
Wait, I got a great comment that I want to pull up on the screen real quick. Okay. While I'm doing that, I think another mod, Ellis. I think Ellis likes Threads.
Maybe he does. Maybe he does. We'll have to ask him.
But I do have a great comment put up on here. Jennifer popped over to Threads because they didn't know how to use it and wanted to see. Made a post and got 1 member. Wow.
Ooh.
So there you go.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that would make me more interested to try it. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Now it's like, is this going to be my new shiny object?
Yeah, we're all just going to go over to Threads. Like, why are all these schoolers on Threads all of a sudden?
Yeah, it's like I was meant to spring clean, but instead I got on Threads.
Yeah, we spring cluttered.
Yeah, great. I like that. Speaking of mods liking a certain platform, Reddit.
Reddit
was used by Jesse, another mod, and he did pretty well with it. I don't know that he's using it now. Right now he's trying something else out, but he has a whole strategy, and I think that he said that he'll do a podcast with us sometime about how he used that.
Yeah, we're going to interview him.
Did you find the Reddit?
I did. I'm pulling it up right now. Yeah, we're going to interview Jesse because I've used Reddit for a very long time. I was one of the very early adopters of Reddit. Mm-hmm. That is, you said where you search is on Pinterest. I search on Reddit. If I have a question about something, I'll Google it, and then I'll put Reddit at the end of it, because I know that people who answer something on Reddit are more likely to telling the truth, because the people on Reddit, they kind of can be perceived as mean because they're just blatant honesty. So I really like it for that. But as a traffic source, I think it's a little bit tougher because they don't really like self-promo that much. I know, who was it? Matthew from ProveWorth. He has used it kind of as like an SEO tool of like creating his own Reddit and then kind of backlinking his Skool profile like that, just makes it easily showed up in Google and stuff. So there's uses for it. I would be interested to talk to some of these guys and learning how they did it. But as far as a traffic source, I haven't tested it enough yet. So I'm going to have to give it like a 6.
I'm going to send you a photo that I think is important to think about because this is a Google search. So I think Reddit is important, but it is going to be mostly value-based, like from what I know of. We'll get more information from Jesse, but let's see. Did you get the image?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now. See, this is exactly what... Oh, hold on. I got too many posts again. This happens every time. Hold on one second. Yeah, what I'm about to show you, this is exactly how I search things in Google. I'll search something, and then I'll type in Reddit at the end. And so that's what he does. He'll create little, Reddit threads or his own subreddit where he'll post about his community. So when inevitably when someone like me will put Reddit at the end, it will pop up as probably one of the first 2 or 3 links.
Yeah, and so you see, I just wrote Skool R. So like if I was looking at Skool, I'd look up at Skool reviews. That's what I would do. But as soon as you write Skool R, in the first 4, Reddit is twice, right? And I know that Reddit is where you're going to have the most savage, honest people.
Exactly.
Right? So if I want real, honest reviews, I'm probably going to check out Reddit too, even if normally what I would look up is just reviews, right? Yeah. So if you want a place to just be talking about what you're doing, or if you want... you could end up posting like what your reviews are. If you have people that don't mind posting your reviews multiple times, you could have a like, hey, post your review on ProveWorth, post your review on Reddit. That is also, and there was like somebody, I think it was Ryan, he ended up making a Reddit community. He doesn't have it anymore. But he had like Reddit/Reddit, and it's just about like, make sure that you're posting, like when you're doing stuff, like if you're thinking about using Reddit as a traffic source, make sure you go put stuff there, and helpful stuff, not where it's like, oh, this person is just a self-promo, because then you might get bad Reddit reviews.
Yeah, bad, yeah. And you want to chalk them full of, keywords too. That's the other thing.
Yep. I think our next one that we were going to talk about... Now this one, I know what image you're going to use. It might scare me. It might scare other people. It's Facebook. Facebook as a traffic source. Our Mark Zuckerberg.
Yep, the Zuck. Now, are we talking about Facebook organic, or are we talking about Facebook ads? Or both?
Or are we talking about Facebook groups? Or we got there's so much.
There's so many different strategies with Facebook.
So, we didn't. Did we rate Reddit? That's funny.
I did.
I don't know if we did. I didn't.
What do you rate Reddit? I gave it a 6.
I'm doing 7. 7
6, 7.
Oh gosh. Good thing I have you on a headset so my kid can't hear it, because then I would hear it all day long. So Facebook as a traffic source, I'm gonna give it a 4.
No, you're full of baloney. I'm leaving this call right now. That's ridiculous.
It's a 4 for organic. If you're doing meta ads, so that's a whole nother thing. If you're doing meta ads and it's like Facebook, then I would probably say it's about like a 9. But organic Facebook, Facebook has gotten this new thing. I get on Facebook, I don't even see my friends' posts, right? Mm-hmm. Like I don't know the last time that I scrolled Facebook that I've seen any posts from my friends. Mm-hmm. And so it's mostly like, now it's like full of AI garbage. But if you're going into Facebook and you're trying to post stuff, like I would almost use it as a default thing, right? I would put my, like, if I'm scheduling reels for Instagram and it says, "Hey, do you want to also have this put on Facebook?" Sure, why not? Like, I'll just click yes. But it's not something, and I do know people that have started putting shorts and reels on Facebook because they're having such a hard time of keeping people there. You can start getting paid on the side from Facebook Shorts,
Yeah,
getting
my
views.
my very best friend, he has a
Mm-hmm.
Facebook page about he lives in Colorado and he posts like all the animals there. He
Mm-hmm.
does his only job is making Facebook reels. He makes $20,000 to $30,000 a month just from doing that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
So it still gets a 4 from me because I think that the effort that you're gonna have to put into being seen, visibility,
Okay,
is gonna be hard.
Wait, I'm gonna
And that
disagree
is
with you.
just organic. That's just organic, and ads I think are great.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to
Okay.
give it probably like a 7 or 8,
Mm-hmm.
just because I feel like people aren't using the Facebook Reels, number one, to their full potential. I would honestly probably rather be on Facebook Reels than Instagram Reels. Number two, there's Facebook groups. Now, I've seen a lot of people have pretty good success going into like different Facebook groups and not spamming your whatever, just being helpful. Kind of the same thing we said with leaving comments in X or Reddit or anywhere, and getting people that way through different Facebook groups, because there's millions probably of Facebook groups that you can try, and there's going to be at least 3 or 4 that have your niche in it. I've had very good success getting podcast guests that way. So I'll get a bunch of different Facebook group people who created the groups, like the creators, and I'll interview them. They'll post that podcast for their Facebook group of like 20, 30,000 people, get a ton of people that way. And then there's Facebook
But
pages.
isn't that like you doing that? That's more of a podcasting as a traffic source, not Facebook necessarily.
Well, it's the same thing I said
Like a
earlier
mixture?
with LinkedIn. Like you're still funneling to a podcast, so it's kind of like it all kind of works together. But like it's a really good way to do it. And yeah, so I'm gonna, just for that reason alone, I'm gonna make it higher than you did. I'm gonna give it like a 7 or 8.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I guess if we're talking about an overall rating, because I'm talking like you posting on a Facebook page, like your page, or you having your own group, or even you going into groups and trying to leave helpful comments. I don't think those grow as fast as you doing meta ads, or you going and doing, like you're saying, doing where you're connecting with an owner that's going to share it with their group.
Yeah, I think creating Facebook posts for like just a regular Facebook post is absolute garbage. I think
Yeah.
creating your own Facebook group is probably not worth it either. I think it's going to be all in comments, and probably reels is where you want to be if you're doing Facebook.
Yeah.
Or ads. Ads is like a 10. There's so many people that have won the school games with just Facebook ads.
Yeah, those are pretty great. And it's not just Facebook, it's Meta. So you can also do the ads via Instagram too. So you're hitting both at the same time.
And there's Facebook Lives. I've seen some people do pretty decent with Facebook Lives. Yep.
Uh,
I made your brain melt with all that.
yeah, I still think it's, yeah. But it's okay. We don't have to agree on that.
No, we
I
don't.
think it's important to also, when you're looking at all this, is like, if you're using Metricool to do the ones that you're not enjoying, make sure you're spending time making content for the places that you do enjoy, right?
And even if you don't want to use something like that, like a scheduler, it's still worth your time to take, if you make a post for Instagram, to just go ahead and put it on YouTube Shorts and TikTok. It's going to take you, I don't know, just a few minutes to do it. And you're just tripling your chances of that video doing well. Because I've had videos that I post on TikTok absolutely flop. Put it on YouTube Shorts, it gets 10 times the views, and vice versa. So if you're making short form content, you might as well just put it everywhere. Just take the time to do it.
Yep. But if you're trying to save time, use Metricool.
Right. Well,
Because
yeah.
you don't want to get overwhelmed. That's the other thing. It's like if you're trying to post it in every place, the overwhelm from posting it all and going through, it's just, that's the other thing. Because what was it? There was something that was said. And we can go ahead and take this off. If you guys want to chat with us in the comments, we're about at the end of the show, but I think we can. Yeah, it's good talk, right? I would say if you're like, where was I going with that? I got distracted. But if you're spending time doing all of this, like it is well worth the time that you're spending, and the traffic is like one of the most important pieces, but you don't want to get to the point of overwhelm where you're not consistent. So
Exactly.
that's the main thing, is make sure that you're consistent. You might make a plan, like if your plan is, hey, I want to be consistent, but I'm worried, like I have a vacation coming up or whatever, make content ahead of time and schedule it. Don't scheduling posts on Skool is not something I recommend, but scheduling content for platforms like YouTube, I think, is good. Scheduling content for Instagram, all of that, because the consistency is going to be rewarded by the platform. You can't. I saw someone say something recently. It was like something about like your short-term excitement, your short-term passion is never going to outweigh inconsistency. Mm-hmm. So it's super important to make sure that your people know that they can rely on you for showing up and all of that. So that's why, like for us, we're showing up on the weekdays during the morning, even if it's not a certain time.
Yeah, don't do as much as you possibly can. Do as much as you possibly can consistently.
Exactly. And that's like with the lives, right? If you really don't think that you can go live every day, if you don't think you can go live every weekday, then set a schedule where it's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday. Do what you can and then add on to it if you need to. Just make sure that you're keeping your word to yourself and to the people and to the algorithms.
Yeah, exactly.
So
awesome.
I think this was a great one. Do we have any comments from anybody that we want to bring up?
Let me bring up this one comment right here, because I think Jennifer made a really good point that I want to talk about with Facebook specifically. So let me bring this one up, because it's a really good point.
Okay.
She's talking about basically how with Facebook they can just nuke you at will. So you could be putting a lot of effort into Facebook groups or whatever. And that is a negative about Facebook that I did not mention, is they can absolutely ban you for no reason. But that honestly can go with TikTok or any other platform. That's why ultimately at the end of the day, you want to move all your people to Skool because you're in control.
I would say Facebook is, and tell me if there's a different one, but I think Facebook is the most censored platform.
If I had to say, it would probably be Facebook. Yeah. Okay. TikTok is getting up there since it got bought, which is unfortunate.
Dang it.
But yeah, Facebook right now is definitely the most censored platform.
Yeah, I think that, and there's no help. If you lose, like, there's been people that had huge groups, had huge followings, and they got hacked, or their group was just deleted. No reason, nothing that they can go back and say, hey, can I appeal this? It's just gone. And so that's why I would say with anything, build something, and then like why I tell people put your membership questions to have an email. Unless it's paid, you don't need it, because then you're going to have their emails, but export it so you have your business. If you don't have an email list, you don't have a business, in my opinion, because it is even if you just want to use one platform, you are putting yourself in risk of whatever. Now, I really believe that Skool is going to be around and you don't have to worry about it, especially knowing Sam like I do. But I still think it's important to at least have those saved.
Yeah, as a fail-safe. This has been great. Oh, we didn't mention it, but podcasting, and especially podcast guesting, is a 11. That's all I'll say.
Yes, podcast guesting. We need to. We'll talk later about like what our schedule is going to be next week. I think Well, would it be good if we like, since we're gonna already like plan what we're talking about next week, should we make a post about it? Would you guys like to know what we're talking about next week, like each day?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I think
Let
people
us
would
know.
enjoy that. Yeah, let us know. All right, y'all.
So, all
We'll see
right.
you Monday.
Thank you for spending your time with us. I really appreciate you guys showing up live. It's fun.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye.